you're going to walk into the panel with, while we wait for it to start, is going to kick in a minute before the panel starts.
Cheetah, what? Put those down. That's why.
It's not as important.
I'm putting them in this bag.
All right, let's see your answers for what is steam-powered giraffe? What is stupid? I can't really say anything else. Everything's insensitive nowadays.
What is a big
It's that music that we do.
Woo! Excuse me, ma'am. Me? Not you.
We got 1 minute. Enjoy. Enjoy this.
Got it for you.
This track is from the original release of album 1. You'll hear that it's 10 times slower than how we play it now on stage.
And if you listen closely, coming up in 5 seconds, you can actually hear one of the Munchkins hanging himself in the background.
That was a bird in the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
It was just a rain. It was like, it just looked like something happened. Okay, welcome, ladies and gents, and everyone else, to the steam-powered giraffe panel entitled "What is steam-powered giraffe?"
Isn't that a question we all ask ourselves routinely? Being in this band, I still don't know what it is. When people ask me what I do, I'm like, it's kind of like Kiss, but with better music.
Boo! Come on, Detroit Rock City. Come on.
That's what my uncle said that. He's like,
Go on.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm in a band and we put on makeup and we do a show, and it's more than just a show. It's like it's a theater show, so it's a performance. And he's like, so you're in Kiss? I'm like, no, I'm not in Kiss. It's not Kiss. It's not.
We're basically Kiss.
I mean, it's kind of like Blue Man Group, but not as talented. I mean, they don't sing, but they really got their percussion down.
They're so rhythmic.
I mean, to be fair, they do have like, there's a million of them, and the original, they don't always do the shows in Vegas. It's, they hire people, so.
It was a million of me. There was only 2 of you. It was a million of
So
those guys.
let's see a show of hands. How many of you don't know what steam-powered giraffe is? What did my voice get suddenly?
Oh, yeah, that lady right there. That's what I'm getting. One person was like.
We'll do the generic answer for any of you who absolutely don't know who we are. But I'm assuming most of you probably showed up because you want to hear us talk about something, or maybe ask a burning question by the end of it. We'll take questions at the end of the panel. Hopefully, people will have questions. You want to start? Tell us what we are? You're so great at that.
So we started this little act back in 2008. Is that right? January 22nd, 2008. We went to Balboa Park and did our first performance of Steam-Powered Giraffe on the Prado. Balboa Park was actually where they had a few World's Fairs, 1915 and 1933. It was called the Panama. It was about the Panama Canal and that opening. So we took the backstory from the park and the beautiful architecture there, which is Spanish colonial, and we kind of came up with this idea for these antique robots that you might see in a museum with like Fabergé eggs, like these clockwork antiques that would come to life when you put money into their hat and sing you a little song. That never worked out. People would just walk on by because we were just like static. So we started to just basically like turn on without money. And then we started cracking jokes and talking back to the audience when they would try to make fun of us. And that's how the act kind of grew. Oh, you can see this is some of our early days. We started out with 4 members, but commitment was kind of, what's the word? It was a little, we were always available. Like there was a couple shows I didn't do, there was a couple shows that Aaron didn't do, and eventually it came down to the 3. And of course we've gotten a lot of new members over the years, and we've gone away from the busking side of things, and we actually, with Steve Negretti's help, we transitioned to being kind of a rock act with plugged-in stage shows and lots of effects and projections and smokes and lights. And yeah, now we're crazy. So this is actually from a recent YouTube concert we did, early July, end of June. Yeah, so we did a little YouTube show that was summer themed, and yeah.
So that gets to today, but basically the act is we pretend to be robots and we sing songs and we have albums. We don't have any real robots in the. You're right. Our act will not last once there's actual robots, androids, or cyborgs walking around, because then I assume our act would be offensive. You know? We laugh now, but then you've seen all the AI. You've seen the talking teddy bears. That one movie. You know what I'm talking about.
It's gonna happen.
What? It's called AI?
No, I've never seen it. Oh, with Haley Joel Osment?
Haley Joel Osment.
As a matter of fact, Bunny, one time she said, I want a monument of us in Balboa Park. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was automatons on Balboa Park? I don't feel like that's not as practical as the gold monument, but it would
Who
be
would
really cool.
repair them?
Me, Steve Negretti, what do you mean? Who else is it?
Well, it's still a cool idea.
Yeah, that's pretty much the act in a nutshell, as best we could.
Let's
sum it up.
introduce ourselves. There's a lot of people up here on stage, and you might not be familiar with who we are because some of us are wearing Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman costumes. And
Some of us are. Our cosplays are real difficult to figure out who we are, but we're incognito right now, so.
Hi, I'm Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit and Gigi in Steam Powered Giraffe. I do a lot of the illustration and the comic book work, and I write songs and perform in the band.
My name's David. My name's. Oh, well, wait, after. My name's David Michael Bennett, and I play. This is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go, hi, my name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is David Michael Bennett, and I play
The Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe. Write another honeybee already.
I'm Brian Barber, I play Zero.
I'm Camille Penyak, and I'm Chelsea Penyak, and we play the Walter Workers.
Let's get an all-night rehearsal. I'm just kidding.
I'm Steve Negretti. I'm the technical director for Steam Powered Giraffe. I also do the voices for Bebop and QWERTY, who are characters that come on to the projection screen in the show, who you'll see if you come to the show tomorrow night.
We got a show tomorrow night. The whole concert starts at 6 p.m., I believe, but we were scheduled to go on later in the evening.
At 9:30.
Yeah.
But YT Cracker starts it up, and then there's Frenchie and the Punk right after. And then we're on at 9:30.
Well, how much the talks? Do they play the boss?
V for villain? No, I don't think they actually have
I
a
think-
concert, do they? Tonight? It's tonight.
Tonight, and there's
Nothing
this tonight.
tomorrow, nothing tomorrow.
So we have this panel, then we're going to be going to do autographs, and then we'll have a panel later at 10:30. Is it in this room?
It is. So if you want to come back, we'll be talking about doing makeup and robot movements and Well, that's pretty much it. But yeah, basically what goes on behind the scenes to become robots.
So a lot has happened in a year. What has happened? We've actually released a new album, right?
Yeah, though we released our last album with Samuel Luke before he departed, called Quintessential, which has a number of fun songs on it. And then we got a Brian. That's probably the most interesting part since the last time we've been here. See a lot of repeat faces, so it's good to see friends and fans from years past. But let's start to get to know this guy. Let's just put all the pressure on him for a second.
What? That's it?
Take it away.
Specifically inspired? Anything you want to know?
So Sam wanted to go off and do his own thing, to put it shortly. So he said, hey, I'll stick around for as long as you want. And we're like, oh, we'll find someone, and give it about 6 months. We didn't let anyone know. We just we went to our close circle of friends and asked, oh, anyone interested? Yeah, Sam wants to do that. And then
And I think that's kind of the cool thing about these two is that they could have gone anywhere else in the world, but they went back to their roots. I went to college with these two, and we did improv together back in the day for years. So it was just nice getting back in the mix with them too. It's like we got in the room and we riffed, and it still happens. Like we go to rehearsal. And we don't rehearse because it's like we're making jokes for like an hour and a half, and like someone's like, "Please stop rehearsal. Can we just get this started?" And it's like it's just nice to have that kind of.
It's nice for us, but not as great for the audience.
Yeah, no. This bit's going on a little long, but we're like, no, keep going. It's very funny. We're gonna keep going with it. No, so I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time with this too, and it's been super like overwhelming the response I've gotten from everyone out there. Even like just walking around out here today, it was like it was a blessing. So thank you so much for being so awesome. Because I know it can be very difficult getting a new member in your family. So thank you for that.
So Brian, or Zero, has made his first debut online with a great little video that David spearheaded, which is a cover of an old song, Marshmallow World, which I think was suggested by Camille, who's a big fan of it. So Brian and David got together and started coming up with a great iteration, and it's such a lovely holiday song that released like a couple days before Christmas, I believe. And yeah, Brian made his.
It's one of the better holiday songs too, because it's not talking about like any religious holiday. It's just talking about winter, right? So, but you know that it's talking about like holidays. But
I got to draw a lot of faces on stuff. It was fun. I like this. It's so cute.
My favorite comment from this entire video was, they see me with the chain and there's a new member coming in here, and they say, "Oh man, I hope this isn't turning into a rap group." I was like, how did you go from Marshmallow World to a rap group? It's Big Crosby, like, of all the things. Oh, not another rap group. Look at him up there rapping.
I mean, I guess Overdrive probably didn't help.
Well, yeah, but I was.
I don't think it's too hard to get everyone in on the joke.
Yeah.
People are just gonna see something and be like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it was just very funny for me to read. I guess I'm rapish looking.
I like this video. It's so cute.
So yeah, what we're working on now, I guess that's the next logical thing to talk about. We're spending a lot of time getting the show into whatever form it takes with Brian and us now, because we never quite keep it the same. A little bit, because we need a starting spot, and obviously we're still playing old hits and whatnot. We're going to be bringing some of them back tomorrow. So one of them. Don't get your hopes up too much, but you're still going to hear Honeybee. Don't
The act's been like evolving. It's always great when we bring in new blood. And Sam was integral in helping smooth out his transition into departing and bringing Brian on. Rehearsing the bass parts and stuff. It felt really nice. It was definitely like the best transition we've ever had.
Well, yeah, Sam was with us through every single other transition, so he knew like this is how we need to do this. So he was like, yeah. And you know, it is a lot of pressure to be like, you know, that the person in that position to, I guess, put the rest of the band in that position. But since he gave us so much leeway with it, it was like it was pretty simple. I mean, other than you know doing rehearsals and stuff and learning the act, but. So that's always nice when.
And we got one final video from him too. We shot Don't Have a Name for It, and a few other things that we're holding on to. So he's like, you know, we're on such good terms with him. Hatchworth is gone but not forgotten, and he'll definitely like make appearances when he can. You know, he likes the work that he did in the group, and we're still friends with him. So.
Yeah, and we have we started these whole things. We didn't know if it was possible, and probably since technology has gotten to the point where it seems kind of possible. We always wanted to do like live stream our shows. So we're starting that out this year with what we can. Our first one was okay. The second one was a little better. The third one was getting a little better. The little hiccups with hard to perform without an audience and stuff, but that's pretty much it's just because it's not feasible to have an audience in those spaces. But we're trying our hand at how do we showcase the act to people who will never see us live. You know, we don't go everywhere in the world. We've been to the UK for the first time last year. You haven't, but you're going this year. And then we've been to Canada and a few places in the United States. But with the internet age, it's like
It's very different. Yeah, you can reach so many more people than you can in a whole year of touring.
Yeah, I mean
that's just the crazy part.
Our first live stream was like the number. I mean, it's not really as comparable because anyone can open up a browser and watch for a few minutes, right? But at a show, like people are invested. They spend money to come and experience a convention or a show. So it's a little different. I think we're learning how that all works. It's trying to make it sound like you're there, but not make it sound like it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically we have to rehearse it as its own separate show. The timing, the humor has to be different. I mean, it's basically the show as we have it, but we kind of cut it up and reassemble it in a more digestible format for the internet, which is really hard because, we're not the only band doing this. Like, it's only become kind of feasible for artists out there recently. So, like, I think a lot of people are, like, tripping over their shoelaces a little bit because it's such a new ground to break. But I'm really proud of that last concert. I think it took our YouTube shows to another level, and it was quite entertaining. I found myself watching it longer than I thought, because I was just like checking on levels and stuff, and then I started laughing and just watching it like I was an audience member, and that's when you know you've done something decent.
The technical stuff, we have a lot of help with Steve and myself do a lot of the setup ahead of time. And I mean, everything always goes wrong, but it's so much more work than a regular show and makes a crap ton less money, but it costs a lot more. But I think it's nice if we do them every few months or so. They get archived, and then in the future people can kind of see what the act was. Because right now we've pretty much filmed. We have one more thing that we filmed with Sam, which is like a concert, kind of like the live stream stuff. But where we're actually mixing the audio after the fact, so we're able to make it sound more like an album rather than a mono signal source coming through YouTube live. But these, what are they called? Not like a snapshot of the group, I think is important to us, because we're never trying to aim for like, we came out with an album, it's going to be amazing, when we've never really had that like immediate burst of attention. We always hold out for like, what's going to last years from now when someone comes and like, look at all this content we can digest. So we kind of think about the band in that kind of sense, because you know we have a loving, dedicated fan base, but we're not like super popular, and I don't think we've ever gotten like super to that point. I think we're kind of like most like internet creators, where we find somewhat of a fandom and we cycle through different people over the years. And that kind of sustains us, compared to like, here's a guy with a suitcase full of money and now you're at the top or something. Like, it's always been like homegrown, grassroots, I guess.
That's true.
Other projects that we have in the works, like David said, we're working on I think it's a year old now, but a private concert that we filmed with Sam. And that's a lot of work but David's still working on it. We're still working on some music videos. We made an effort on the comics recently. I've actually gone back, cleaned up some pages that always bugged me, but I didn't change anything too much. I cut the comic in half, and I've created 2 issues that we're going to release on Comixology and other sources, which is available through Amazon Prime and stuff. What's great about Comixology is they have what's called guided view. It doesn't always work well, but when it does, it's like a cinematic comic experience. If you guys have ever read like Batman on it, it's just so much fun. So I was like, we have to do this for our comics. So they will be for sale on Comixology, but they're free on the website. I know that's kind of weird, but that's just how it works. And subsequent issues, which we're working on, will be sold through Comixology and probably on our main website. So we're really excited about that to kind of push the comics forward. Sam and I worked on it a lot last year, but we're hoping we can do even more this year.
And we're not coming out with an album this year, just in case anyone's wondering. With a new member and all that, we just feel it's more important to focus on the act. And we just came out with 3 albums in the last 2 years, so that's not that we don't have an itching to get more songs out. We have an endless supply with 3 members, so but just we also don't want to what's the word?
You want to force it. You want to force it. And I feel like you. I'm sorry. So you don't want to force an album, and I feel like that's something that was on David's mind. And I don't know. You were saying the other day, so you want to create, like, you want to sit down and make sure you create the album instead of just releasing songs, you know. And I think that's when you rush it, that's kind of what you do. It's like, well, we've got these songs, like take them. But like when you create an album, it's like you want to create songs that are cohesive, you know, and tell a storyline. So I think focusing on that and making it.
And it's easier when you have like years to work on something. You know what you're coming out with. We could only plan so much for Sam leaving and a new member coming. So we need to feel what that turns into. Although we already have songs that we're working on, so you'll be able to hear if you haven't already heard it in the YouTube concerts or other shows that Brian's been at. He has his own song that's only exists in the live show. So it's evolving before your eyes, which is cool because some songs, you know, like something like the Vice Boner album, like a lot of stuff was written just for the album, and we don't really have any ambitions to play it live because we don't want to be, our concerts can't be 2 hours long. So, but with most of our albums, it's like they're songs that we've played live before, and yeah, so it's a little different. So this year we have the. Hopefully by the end of the year we'll have that YouTube concert with Sam, which is a nice snapshot of that, which will be free on YouTube. We're not going to charge it. I mean, we'll let people buy it if they want to, but we also have the SteamWorld Heist vinyl that Image Informed, the game developers, wanted us to release, and we're like, okay, we'll do that. Maybe that'll lead to other vinyls in the future, except sales aren't very great for that, so I doubt it. But maybe we'll see what maybe when we actually have the album in hands and people can see it, they'll be like, oh, this is actually a pretty cool item. But there's vinyl heads out there, right? But,
vinyls are cool. We actually also have a new supply of t-shirts and hoodies coming in to our website. I don't think next week. So we actually have
so these cool merchandise items we don't have here. Next week
we tried. But we have SPG logo t-shirts. We have new versions of the ones that Chelsea and Camille are wearing.
We have men's baseball shirts.
And yeah, I just wanted to mention, in case anyone doesn't know, that you can sign up for back in stock notifications on all of our apparel, any size or variant, so you'll be the first to know when we get it in. So,
I mean, it's just merchandise. So we're not trying to force it down.
No.
We get so many questions like, when are you having t-shirts in?
If you're worried about not knowing like when it's, when we'll have it in stock, like we can, give you an email notification of exactly when it's in stock if you go to our website.
Are we getting Walter Robotics hoodies?
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting hoodies and t-shirts up with the Walter Robotics logo, which is like the lore company who builds the robots. So for any of you who want that deep cut lore,
it's the new logo, which we premiered sometime this year.
Sometime within the last 10 years.
Some of you might not have seen it yet, but I think it's going to be metallic printed, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a foil print, so it's going to look real shiny, and it's going to, and no one will know if you buy one. No one will. It doesn't say Steam Powered Giraffe or anything on it, so it's like just the cool, clean cut logo, which is what I would.
So you'll have to explain to everyone who walks up to you.
But you know, not every shirt can be an advertisement, right? The logo that itself is an advertisement, but this is just going to be like a logo that looks cool and.
Well, since we only have so much time here, let's open it up for questions and see if there's any questions.
We'll call up Brian. We'll call on you.
I'll go listen to you.
And then we'll use your biggest indoor voice. That doesn't make any sense.
But I see a question in the back.
Ryan, what was your favorite song or most fun song to learn?
Oh, very good question.
Which
All
one?
right,
Which
so-
one do you love best?
So my favorite song from Steam Powered Giraffe is "Electricity Is in My Soul." It is. It's the best.
Sorry.
I feel like it doesn't get as much love as it should, and I love it. I love it a lot. And it was definitely the hardest song I had to learn because I did not play bass before I showed up in this band, so I know.
You need talent to be in the band.
But it was like, it took me forever because the bass lines are so iconic. You know, so it's like all this like really cool stuff that I really love, and my fingers weren't doing it. I was like, why fingers? Why you betraying me? But like, once I got it down, I was feeling
Once you
it.
played the 3 shows and then we cut that song from the act.
Yeah, then it was good. Now I'm great.
No, it's not because it was bad or anything. It's because you can only play so many songs, and we want people to be able to get more songs.
But that is my favorite Steam Powered Giraffe song and my favorite song to learn. Second favorite song that nobody will ever like love as much as I love, I think, is Earhart. I feel like nobody else loves that song. Any other questions?
What are all your guys' favorite songs to perform?
What are all our favorite songs to perform?
There's a new song that we'll be playing tomorrow that I really like because it's the first time I get to play bass. So, that's been really fun.
I like that one now too, but new stuff is always fun to perform because it's a little nerve-wracking. It's like, because the other songs we've been playing for almost 10 years, like Honeybee or like Clockwork, like, it's just a weird, like,
You're just like, oh, when is this over?
but like at the same time,
there yet?
you have to keep that, like, this is new feeling when you're performing it so you don't screw up because you're so, like, not tired of it, but like, it's just a weird, it's like an old shoe that always fits.
It's like a child you that's been around for like 15 years. You're just like, it's like you used to be like so cool, and now you're like such a drag.
You know what's a really fun song to perform on stage, and it like never surprises me. It always surprises me how much energy it is Brass Goggles, because like it's not just us, it's like everybody. Like everybody's singing and like everyone's jumping and feeling it. It's like it's a very, very cool experience.
Yeah, cool.
It's so cool.
I mean, when we were thinking about robots, like, and we are like, what are robots, Brian gonna be? We wanted to develop that on stage. But their first idea from a mime instructor,
He's gonna be the cool robot.
he's gonna be the cool one. Like everyone else is gonna be nerdy in comparison. But
What
then,
does that mean?
and then you fell into the, well, when you'll see the robots tomorrow night. But
How was I supposed to do that, though? That would have never worked. Everyone who tries to act cool is not cool. Any other questions?
Do you have any plans to make like a Vice Quadrant like animatic or like some more art to like give visuals for the story?
So the Vice Quadrant art or animatic or anything like that, the only thing that we have close to that, other than the album art, is the timeline that's available on our website, and that has artwork by Samuel Luke for pretty much every single song, and there's a little bit of exposition that goes along with it on the timeline. So it fills in the holes that we couldn't kind of like say, this is what happened during this song. And you probably are aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, it does call for more, but we don't have any.
We're slowly working on a new comic that kind of continues some of that narrative.
We're not animators or anything like that, and animation is super expensive, like ridiculously so. But we've done stuff like the music videos and stuff. That's kind of more our speed and kind of the stuff that we can do. But we don't have anything more planned with the Vice Squadron other than continuing the story through comic form.
Cool.
All right.
I heard that you learned the Steam Power Giraffe reprise that you guys usually sing at conventions. Is that true?
Maybe.
How hard was that?
It was semi-difficult, but they had the phonetics for me. So we just sat down and I kept saying them phonetically wrong, and in my head I was like totally right. And like, Brian, that's not what you're saying. You're not saying it right. You gotta durable. I was like, oh yes, okay, durable. All right, but like, so it was in my head very easy, but it really was very difficult because my mouth did not work like my head wanted. So,
And the song you're referring to is the one that we call J-pop on our set list for whatever reason. But it's the Steam Power Giraffe song from MK3, but done with like different lyrics and there's a little bit of melody in there. It's the Japanese version of the song we do.
So I did learn it, yes. All right, my man in the back. Uh-huh.
Going back to Vice Squadron, what are all of your favorite characters?
What are all of our favorite characters from the Vice Squadron?
Oh, the Vice Squadron. Oh.
Dig deep, dig
I
deep.
got you. My favorite character's here, so I don't gotta worry about it.
Just look into the audience, find the cosplay.
Commander Cosmo? I created Commander Cosmo. It was kind of like David created Daughter of Space. I created Commander Cosmo. We kind of merged them together somehow. Like, they finally meet at the end of the story.
I mean, they are the same. Spoilers, they are the same person.
Wait, I said, no, not Daughter of Space.
No, but
Commander Cosmo.
Commander Cosmo and the
Astronaut. Well,
I thought you were talking about.
No,
Never mind.
I said Daughter of Space, didn't I?
I was like ahead of you. I wasn't even listening to what you were saying.
Well, technically,
Sorry.
well, anyways, yeah. I mean, there's so many that we created, but I mean, and I like Necrostar too, but he only has like 10 seconds on the album, but he's still cool.
He's like that sludge smoke.
That's what I was
from
thinking,
Ferngully.
like Tim Curry from Ferngully.
No one knows what Ferngully is. Raise your hand if you know what Ferngully is. We don't. It's hard. We don't know how old we are anymore. Like, we're old, I imagine. We're like in our. How old am I?
Well, I'm in my 20s still, but you're... I stopped aging a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm going to Commander Cosmo soon, man. Come on. I saw him from a mile away and I was like, ah! I got a fanboy moment myself, so. What about you? Oh, you said yours already.
Did I? No, I didn't.
You didn't say anything. Say yours. What's up right here?
I like the space giant. I couldn't pick a favorite. I like the whole album.
They're all my
It's
favorites.
like, we all had a hand in it, so it was like fun to like make that world. And not that it was a break from Steam Powered Giraffe, but it was so nice to get outside of the robots a little bit, just because how many songs can you write about metaphors for humans being robots?
A lot, apparently.
Yeah, but eventually
About 4 albums.
eventually we gotta start writing songs about people dying in space station.
I also like Buplax.
Yes.
Buplax is a very underrated character.
So,
But let's talk about them characters from Quintessential now.
any other questions?
Do you write any original songs?
Me, do I write original songs? I do, yes. Sorry, I was speaking this. I do, yes. I write original songs, and the song that you will hear me sing tomorrow, if you come to the show, will be my original song. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
So this is the coolest thing about it. So I have basic chords, lyrics, and then I send it over to David over here, and then David adds his Steam Powered Giraffe essence to it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this song sounds so nice now. So it's a little bit of a collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's how all this stuff kind of works. We kind of try to blend it together. Just they're a cohesion to make it sound like we like the diversity that we get with all the different song styles that past and present members have added to it. So we kind of embrace that. But we always add the harmonies. We always try to make it sound. I mean, it's going to sound like Steam Powered Giraffe if any of us kind of put a instrument in or a vocal in Brian, before we move on to another question, also is in his own band where he's the lead singer. You're also the lead singer.
So I do write a lot of music as well.
He's in a band called The Routine, and you can look him up on Facebook. It's different. It's different music. He wouldn't advertise it, but if you ever want to see his versatility.
You'll see me jump around and sweat on stage. Be like, any other questions?
So would you say you give the songs their spine then?
Sure. I just fell into that role. I fell into that role when no one wants to do the busy work. Not that that's busy work, but you know what I mean. It's cool. Everyone is fun to sing, but I think it takes a little something extra work to sit and do the editing. You know what I mean?
A little extra backbone.
So with that, I get to have a little fun now. So.
I think I heard you say something about wanting to branch out in other songs, like did you say something about space?
Yes.
That's one of my favorite songs is Soliton.
Oh, Soliton, yes. I wrote Soliton. Yeah, to believe it or not all the songs on our album, The Vice Quadrant, that are about space, were like made for Vice Quadrant. We started accumulating, Bunny and I, a lot of songs about space, and we're like, it just needs to be on an album because we can just release space songs and we could like pepper them out. But we were like, we really have we have ideas. We might as well make something with it all. So yeah, Soliton. Pretty much, I would say half the album is probably songs that we already had, and then the rest were made to kind of tell the story a little more, right?
This is actually for Chelsea and Camille. You know that you do ballet. Have you ever done any other kind of dance or want to incorporate certain other styles rather than just ballet into your part of the show?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so when we were studying ballet at our ballet studio in San Diego, we had like a lot of like extra classes, like we would take jazz and contemporary was modern. Yeah, modern.
Especially during the summer, we would do these like summer intensive seminars, and even though classical ballet is where we're trained mostly, you try and get like a broad taste of everything because it helps you with the ballet. I remember at one point I took flamenco class and we took a miming class. I learned the basics of miming and the pop and lock and the robot and all that a long time ago. So it teaches you how to move, but I can't say I'm really good at any of the other stuff.
Yeah, we're primarily trained classical, and when we had jazz classes, it was a little bit out of your comfort zone. It was really fun, but sticking to your roots that's what comes to us naturally, especially choreographing. I would have no idea how to choreograph jazz.
Yeah.
But luckily, contemporary comes really easy because our choreographer was very into contemporary. Her original work was very stylized like that, so we were lucky in that regard.
Yeah, the person who trained us. There's different like styles of ballet. There's the really classical stuff that you think of when you see people wearing tutus, but a lot of it is contemporary, more fused with modern dance. And we have enough background with contemporary ballet that we try and like change it up every time we choreograph a new dance for the band. Where we're trying to explore different styles. We don't want every dance we bring to Steam Power Draft to look the same. So that's exciting for us to play around with it a little bit.
And also, they're on stage now during our show longer than they're off stage. So we don't know how that happened. It wasn't planned, but now it's just how it is. They're on stage for a lot of songs.
That's how you gotta use it. Yes, sir.
What first got you interested in steampunk?
What first got us interested in steampunk?
That's a good question. So personally, I grew up reading H.G. Wells. So I loved War of the Worlds and The Invisible Man and First Men in the Moon. I mean, that just kind of, the science fiction from the perspective of a Victorian man is just so interesting. And it just created these images in my mind. I was like, what is that? Like seeing the tripods in my mind and like the glistening metal and that they looked really old school. Like eventually, you see some media actually like starts to define it. In the 80s, I know there was some stuff, but movies like Wild Wild West, or even the old TV show that the movie was based on, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You start to see it in media, and it got really popular around 2008 when we started. I actually put goggles on Rabbit's hat because I saw a steampunk Ghostbuster who was my friend do it first, and I did it, and then everyone was just doing it.
I think not that you influenced it, but that it just everyone
was starting doing it, and then I wanted to lose the goggles because it wasn't cool anymore. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into it. I mean, I've always been a fan of the Victorian science fiction. It's just so romantic and cool.
And I didn't know what steampunk was, but I liked playing music, and I like futurism more than something like steampunk.
It's actually a good point. Each one of the robots represents a different time period because we've been around for like 100 years. So Rabbit's always been like the Victorian one. She's very broken though. Hatchworth was sort of a 1920s, 1930s, more Art Deco. The spine.
Yes, what about the spine?
The spine is futurism. He's like World's Fair in the 60s, but
with those cars with the bubble domes, and it's more like I just imagine used car salesmen.
And Zero, the original concept for Zero was a zoot suiter, so it's kind of a Hatchworth era. There's no like.
That's where you are.
There's just no word to describe the style.
There is. It's called hip hop. I'm a rapper.
But anyways, yeah. It's so Zero's kind of Art Deco-y ish.
Yeah, a lot of those things we don't like hit it on the head. It's more like we have a vague sense of it because we like being able to go to anime conventions. We like going to steampunk conventions, sci-fi stuff. We like being able to fit in whoever will have us. So
mostly it's like it's when we look at the visual pizzazz, we try to tell a story, but it doesn't necessarily always, like what I wear isn't necessarily Victorian, but Rabbit has kind of a look with the rusted goggles and the patina, and Spine is very stoic and looks like he came out of a Dick Tracy comic. And Zero, you wanted to take him in like kind of a scrapyard look, right?
Yeah, just because. I mean, the original idea was he was scrapped together from different robots. I was like, I like that idea. Like, you took all the broken pieces, put them together.
Garbage-o, and everyone will love it.
Got a big trash can, and it'll be great.
It was great. So
you got a garbage bag over there.
You got pieces of Hatchworth. You got pieces of Hatchworth and John and Eric.
Someone had a theory like that. They were like, oh my, he's got Aaron's like gloves and John's suspenders and Hatchworth's chain or something, I don't know, but I was like, oh.
That's not true. It's not canon, but I mean it's
it's fun to dream.
It's funny when people.
But it's hilarious. Yeah. We actually had coming up with names for Brian's character. I mean, he had to sign up on it. You guys already know where I'm going with this. So we had a giant list of just like anything.
There were a few ones.
There were some good ones. One was like Pockets.
Yeah, Pockets, Junkyard was one.
What was your favorite?
Well, we tried different ones because we tried to go in the Hatchworth route, where it was actually like, okay, make it like a human name, but get it a robot spin. But then we realized, wait, the other robots have never had that. That was just something that Sam wanted to do. Like the other robots just have names that don't really speak as a robot. So we wanted to maybe go that route.
Yeah. Someone came up with a very fantastic name.
Yes. We always.
It was me.
We were hoping.
I hit it on the list. It wasn't supposed to be serious. I just hit it in there.
Oh, but it was serious, and it was butt pipe.
Butt pipe the robot. He just has a nice ring. We'll call him Butt Pipe, and everyone will love him. I think that could be Zero's middle name, right?
Zero butt pipe.
I mean, it's funny because the word butt is in there. And I don't think there's any. You don't have to look into it more than that.
Butt pipe is a very funny thing to think about.
But Zero, we knew Zero's been used as a name for a lot of other stuff, but with the 101010, robots and stuff, it felt right.
You mean binary code?
That.
And so, to answer your question, that's how we got into steampunk.
I mean, yeah, We have about 8 minutes left, so let's. Any more questions?
So the question is the YouTube stream a way to test out stuff for the live shows, or are they separate entities?
We've after the first one, we just literally took whatever, like a very small smidgen of the show, like a few songs, and turned it into like an hour long. Because our shows are usually an hour and a half long or longer. But for that first YouTube concert, we tried to give about an hour. So it was like stuff from the live show. But once we did that, because we didn't really rehearse for a live stream, we just took the live act and said, okay, let's do this bit, this bit, this bit, and then we learned from there that some of the stuff doesn't translate as well over video. So it's not that we will definitely like play similar songs and stuff, but for us, we're trying to make the live streams like unique. So we had like the whole summer theme to the last one, where there was like an underlying plot behind it. I mean, nothing substantial, but enough that it stands on its own as like, oh, here's a show, and yeah, they play the same songs they usually play, Honeybee, Brass Goggles, and then they sprinkle in whatever else. But like I don't know if they speak to each other. I think we're trying to keep them a little separate.
They're separate now. We're treating them like their own entities, but they do obviously help each other. We're able to test out bits or songs for that matter, so it's a good tool.
With the live stream, we have a lot more technical cues and stuff. Like Steve does all the lighting for those shows, so like there's a lot more control over we have the show. When we go play somewhere else, we're interfacing with other lighting directors and stuff. And sometimes it'll be a completely different show just because that convention has lasers and smoke effects. But good question. I don't think we've ever tried anything out. We actually. Your first song was at a Ren Fair, though.
Oh, yes, it was.
And we do Ren Fairs now, apparently. And it worked out pretty well. But then we took that first time we performed it in front of people, and then performed it in front of a camera. And, it probably wasn't as big a reaction.
Yeah, I'd say they're mainly separate, but we're never going to take it and be like, oh, that really worked. Never do it for the live show. If it really worked for the stream, then we want to integrate it, into a show and make it good.
I think we have time for a few more than 5 more minutes. We got maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Katie?
Okay. So in one of the live stream concerts, when Zero introduces himself, he goes into binary code. Does that spell out zero, or is that just random code?
You know what? I took 2 weeks to memorize it, and then when I said it, it just came out as random code. But I sat there because it's pretty long. It's pretty long, and it really works if you put a rhythm to it. But when it got to it, I was like,
It's not like you have a cue card for it either.
No. Next time it will be zero completely spelled out. So need to look out for it. I guess.
But not this show. Not this show.
Do you have a question?
I know it's only been a day in a con, and usually they're 3 days. I understand this is your first convention you've ever gone to. I was just wondering, any memorable moments so far, just from how it's been?
Well, the fire alarm going off, and that was pretty memorable. I was like, oh, all right, here we go.
And this is what opening ceremony is.
I know. I think meeting this guy with me was a pretty memorable moment. It was very, very cool. Someone said, I saw a Zero cosplay. I was like, really? Did you? And he's like, I see him, and he's like, oh, he's not Zero. We just have the very similar size. It was very cool. Very cool to meet him. And same thing with the Commander cosplay too. It's very, very cool to see all these beautiful cosplays, yourself included, man. There's just so much. There's so much color, and there's so much joy, man. There's so much effort that are put in these things, and to see them all out here. Just live in person is very, very cool. So that's what I'm enjoying most so far.
Bonnie, are you ever gonna put Lago or something in any of the songs? Maybe a mention or random mention? Maybe in the art?
Lago, my rabbit character.
Yeah.
I kind of loosely suggest that it's all interconnected, but probably not. Though Lago, I want to do more with him because he's such a great character.
I threw in my Dungeons and Dragon character into the band.
I see them as connected, but it's not to say that Pudding Pad and Lago couldn't visit the spine, but I don't know.
Or yeah, there's a song, Little Bunny Lago hopping the forest. He doesn't have any arms.
Yeah, but I have a comic idea that whenever I get to it about, it's called Trolley Bones, and Lago is integral in that. It's kind of like an origin story, so.
And the spine makes a guest no.
Yeah, I'll draw you in it in the background.
In the background.
You're just waving, like, trying to get.
I'll be on the trolley.
Yeah.
There's no trolley, is there?
There is a trolley. That's why it's called Trolley Bones.
I think we have time for one more a question, and then we'll tell you. I'll just
Yeah.
I actually kind of have this question for Steve.
A good way to end.
How long does it take you/your tech team to edit a usual SPG concert or video?
Well, let me turn that over to my tech team right here, David Michael Bennett.
Don't take my microphone. Here's your own. Spine.
So for the live stream stuff, Steve and I, we have it set up that it's exactly as it is. That we don't have any control of it. So we screw up, it's there. It's on there. Like we can cut out a part. Like we cut out the intro when the video fired before like the sound played in the beginning of the show. But everything else is exactly as it is live. So there's nothing we can do to edit it. But for something like say the YouTube concert we did for last year, are about to release this year, or Walter Robotics Expo, or the first Steam Powered Giraffe thing, the Eternal Harp of Gold Dreams, Quest for it. That's the longest title. But that stuff we actually record all the tracks individually. So then when we take it into the studio, we have every track raw as it came in from each source, and then we can edit it pretty much just like we do an album, where we're mixing it, we're panning it, cutting out breaths in the microphones and stuff, and that takes forever.
David keeps saying we, but David does all the editing for anything that gets released online. Anything that's the live aspect of the show is where I come in. I can record stuff and transfer it over to David, but anything that gets processed and edited is all David, working at his computer at home.
David's the unsung hero. He does all the stuff that none of us can do.
Bunny's edited music videos and stuff.
I did Hold Me, and I worked on the SPG show, but the second one I'm gonna have to bring it to you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I've done some things, but there's only so much I can do. I'd rather just give it to David so he can put it through his filters and make it better.
I don't know. No, but well, we get by. We get by with whatever knowledge that I have, as well as anyone else in the band. So we try to make use of that. We try not to outsource too much stuff, just because we'd like to keep it free. And I think we do okay with what we have. We always have, backing musicians when we need them and stuff. So, you've heard lots of albums with Michael Reed on them and stuff. He's built harmonies for us in the past.
Oh, that's a good thing to leave on.
Sure. Oh yeah. Because we have local shows now and our act has changed so much, we got to rethink the act, like how we could actually have a backing musician. So for some local shows and maybe some live streams in the future, we'll actually have Michael Reed do guest appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
When he's available.
So Mike's back in a capacity.
Yeah, and the way the act was before, it relied heavily on the backing musicians to pull it forward. But now that we use backing tracks that are synced up to projectors and stuff, we actually it's less integral, because we don't have a drummer on stage that we're waiting for the cues. Now it's that we're waiting for Steve to give us the cue to sync up with projections and stuff. And it's like a new era for someone like Mike coming back in, like saying, "Oh, how can I add onto this song? I don't have to play two instruments at the same time anymore." Like, no. So that'll be pretty fun. It'll only be for San Diego shows, because we're still marketing the act in an affordable way for all the conventions and stuff, through 3 people on stage and stuff. But for San Diego shows, he lives right down the street, and we're just gonna have him for those. And if you want to see him, Michael Reed, he will be on some live streams hopefully in the future too. So we'll make sure to keep everyone in the loop with announcements in their social streams. But now I think that's it for questions.
Yeah, we're gonna go back out to our merch booth, which is in the merch hall.
You can follow us over there. If you have any questions or want an autograph now, just hang tight and hold it off for the autograph session line.
We're gonna head on over there right now and